Alrighty, traders, welcome back. What is up? My name is Chris, and welcome to today's live recap of the Nasdaq 100 futures. We're once again putting a spotlight on our heavy hitters, CYMO PureMO, and ScalpMO, guys. Now, if you tuned in yesterday, you watched how these tools caught the downside flush. And this morning, okay, was a completely different beast. The market ripped to the upside, and just like yesterday, we were ready because we don't guess. We use structure, we use momentum, and we definitely use logic. So we'll start with our 5-minute chart today, which will give us some clarity on what we needed to confidently catch that long setup. No hesitation, no FOMO chasing entries, guys. Just clean structure with CYMO and solid momentum confirmation with PureMO on the 2-minute chart. The combo worked perfectly. Now, while other traders were waiting for a pullback that never came, we were already in position because the tools gave us the green light. And once that initial leg was done, wow, we didn't force anything, guys. Instead, we shifted gears because right around mid-morning, price started to rotate in cycle territory, all right? And that's when we brought in ScalpMO to handle the cyclic rotations on the 2-minute chart, while CYMO helped us filter any reversals that may not have been good for us, right? We stay in rhythm, remember. And today, guys, was a textbook case of knowing when to press and when to pivot. And if you don't have the right tools, you either missed the move or got chopped up in the cycle that followed, all right? So we're gonna see how this bad boy played out in today's session. I've got this tuned to 10 times the speed of the market. Then I'll get to your Q&A after we're done with the session this morning, all right, guys? So I'm going to be a little bit of a cowboy today, and let's go ahead and run this bad boy at 10 times the speed of the market. There we go. So this is going to go ahead and fire off right now in just a couple of seconds, so just be patient because I couldn't exactly get it at 9:30. And as soon as it hits this 9:30 marker right here, though, it'll just go ahead and pop. And that's where we're going to go and begin seeing the action right there, all right? So okay, here we go, guys. It's almost about to happen. And boom, there we go, right there. First bar of the day. Wow, look at that bad boy right there. Absolutely ripped to the upside right there, okay? Very nice, okay? Now we've got PureMO right here going up. We've got we've also got cycle moving up, momentum moving up. Let's just make sure that this bad boy actually moves up and we get a crossing right here. So
order
go ahead and
filled.
be cowboys and take that trade to the upside right here. We're already in exhaustion zone, but hey, hold on a second. Let me pause this bad boy right here, okay? Because I don't want you guys to miss a critical component of why I would have taken that trade to the upside. Why would this even give you confidence to take a trade to the upside? Right here, guys. Here comes your 5-minute chart. Okay. And your 5-minute chart right here is telling you exactly what you need to see right here in order for you to make heads or tails as to whether or not this trade actually makes any sense you taking to the upside right here, okay? In fact, let me go ahead and add that reference line right there, which somehow just erased when I put it in playback mode right there. Okay, there we go, right there. Now, if you notice this 5-minute chart, guys, the cycle component to the upside didn't just begin at the market open, okay? It actually started way back here at 15:15 yesterday afternoon. If you notice right here, and this is very important in understanding market structure, okay? Because a lot of people just kind of jump into the market and don't really see what happened during the close of the market the day before, okay? So right here, we've got cycle number 1 going up, okay? We've got cycle number 1 ending right there. But check this out right here, guys, okay? This is really important stuff, okay? You've got momentum going up as well, right there. So if I'm looking at my 5-minute chart, okay, when I sit at my desk in the morning and I'm about to open up the session right here, what I want to see is I want to go back to the 5-minute right here and ask myself, what is cycle and momentum doing on the 5-minute chart? Well, man, if momentum is all the way up here in trend mode, okay, and cycle is just about to cross above the zero line, which it did before the market opened right there, okay, this happened at the close of the market on Friday, okay, I mean on Monday, okay, right there. Yesterday was Monday. So it reasons to say that if price went into momentum right here, into trend mode, okay, cycle number one ended here and began here. It began here, ended here, price went into momentum. Remember, guys, that price goes from cycle to momentum all the time, and from momentum to cycle repeatedly throughout the course of any trading session, all right? So if this is the case right here, and this is the market open, and I'm looking at momentum being this high and cycle still rising, this is cycle number two. Where do you think that cycle number two is potentially going to end? Okay, it's going to end when it crosses below the zero line. So is there any upside left in this trade? Of course there is. There is still upside left in this trade until cycle number two actually makes its way and crosses below the zero line right there. And this right here alone, guys, is a setup to go long on the higher time frame, okay? So the fact right here that cycle just crossed above zero, momentum was above zero, and this bad boy just shot up right there at the open is pretty good news if you're looking to take a trade to the upside, all right? So that would be my logic right there if I were looking at this, jumping right at the open. Let's see how this all plays out, all right? And remember, guys, the trade right here will end when cycle actually crosses below zero. You are in trend mode. Look at where price is at. It's above the bands. Everything turned green. This is trend mode, guys, by all accounts right here, all right? Now, some of you may say, well, look, you just got exhaustion right here. Yeah, we just got exhaustion here, but look at your 5-minute chart right here. Price has not exhausted the move, okay? And because price hasn't completely exhausted the move to the downside, that means there is more upside left to this trade right here, okay? And your upside will likely continue until this purple line comes all the way down here to the gray box, okay? Or you get cycled, crossing the zero line right here. You see that right there where it is, guys? That is a very good point where you might want to hop off the trade right there. Or if you wanted to really let this bad boy ride all the way out, you may want to wait until this, comes all the way down to the gray zone right there, and that would be the end of the trade, okay? Now, let me go ahead and stop it real quick. If you're looking at your 5-minute chart, and now all of a sudden, right here, you see that cycle just hit the zero line right there, okay? What is this telling you, guys? Okay, pay attention. Wake up. You just had cycle number one and cycle number two on a higher time frame. Hello? What is that telling you? Okay, can someone type it into the comment box right there, guys? Okay, if you just had the end of cycle number two that began, okay, this whole cycle to the upside, this whole trend actually began at 1500 at 3 p.m. the previous day on Monday, and you just had the end of cycle number two right there on the 5-minute chart. What exactly is that telling you on your chart? Man, this is telling you that there is a potential reversal on the horizon right here, guys. And if you see this right here on the 5-minute chart, you may as well just come right here to your, to your 2-minute chart and begin to look for an exit, okay? The end of the upside, likely to turn down. J Momentum absolutely hit the nail in the head. Shout out to J Momentum. That's exactly right. So if that's the case, guys, I'm looking for an exit right there, all right? That's about a $4,200 trade to the upside, and you are done. Why did I get out of the trade right there? Because my 5-minute chart told me that cycle number two that began yesterday at 3 p.m. was just about to end. And if that's the case, man, this is where I'm getting out right there, where cycle turns down below the zero line. that is the end of this trend right there to the upside, guys. Okay, that's where I'm exiting my trade. Okay, and if you notice right here, you've got the state, the market state. It also says trending as well. So this is telling you that the market is trending. Now check this out. This bad boy just hit this exhaustion point right there, which is telling you that that is it, guys. There is nothing left in the trend right there, okay? This is completely done for right there. Also, keep in mind that whenever price goes into this channel, again, you're now, okay, going back into chop zone, not chop zone, I should say cycle zone right there, right? You're back in cycle zone right there, okay? So you're back in there. Let's go ahead and see how this plays out, okay? Because now momentum is falling right here. You've got cycle below zero, and you've got momentum right here at the top that looks like it might be coming down a little bit right there, all right? That's the end of the trend component of price, and that's how you get into that type of trade right at the outset when the market opens, guys, all right? So let's continue to watch this and see if there's any more opportunity to be taken to the upside right here, okay? Now, check this out, guys, right here. We've got something else that's happening on the 2-minute time frame right here that may not be as visible on the 5-minute chart. Now, if you look at the 5-minute chart right here, momentum is still elevated over here. Cycle just completed cycle number 2, cycle 1, cycle 2 right there, and momentum right here is still a little bit on the exhaustion point right here. It's exhausted already, okay? But if you notice here on your 2-minute time frame, momentum is still a little bit elevated, and you've got what appears to be cycle number 2 going up. What are the chances of price going up? Okay, right there. Okay, let me just mark it here. What are the chances of price going up right here, guys? Okay, well, you know, you've got momentum right here. Look, crossing above the yellow line, and it looks to me like it wants to go up. Okay. Now, is it going to go up with enough force to really push price up? Let's have a look and see. Okay, we took
order
long
filled
right there. Let's see what would happen. Oh, you know what? Hang on a second. Let me pause this for a sec real quick, because since we are now in cycle mode, let me go ahead and bring in scalp mode, okay? Because now that we're in cycle mode right here, it's better to watch scalp mode than it is PureMO. All right, guys? So let's go ahead and blow this bad boy up right here, okay? We will look at this, okay? And this here is scalp mode right here, okay, guys? So we were just looking at the chart that's set up for the trend, okay? Looking at the trend chart right here, and check this out right here, guys, okay? We just saw, okay, cycle come up above zero, okay, and we had the purple line also cross above the zero line right here too, okay? This is telling you that price is moving up right here. This is scalp mode, and this is CYMO. These are tuned only to capture the cyclic swing in price. Now, for those of you guys who are new, why did we switch it from one setup to another? Okay, remember that the setup below this chart is only designed to capture the momentum swing in price, and it did that pretty good right here when it caught the upside. But as soon as price rolls into the VWAP again, which is these 3 lines right here, now you're back in cycle mode. Now you need a tool that's fine-tuned to capture only the cyclic rotation in price, right? And that's the whole reason why we switched it to this chart, because the settings are designed only to capture the cyclic component of price. That is very important, guys, when you're trading, okay? That's super, super important right there, and you always want to keep that in mind. So let's go ahead and roll with this bad boy and see where we get in and where we get out of these trades, okay? So if I'm going to get out of this trade, guys, right there, I'm going to hop off right smack right there, because, okay, that's like another $800 right there, perhaps. Oh, we don't have momentum coming down right there. All right, well, if momentum isn't coming down, then this means that this might continue going up right here. So normally when momentum comes down, it becomes a cycle trade. When it continues on its own, it becomes a trend trade, okay? So you got a little bit of move right here to the upside, which is not bad, okay? And we've got the second cyclic rotation right here to the upside. But I know one thing, guys.
Order filled.
Whenever you get a kink right here with CYMO going to the downside and it doesn't rush up this way and it comes down, that might be the end of that move right there. Right smack right there, okay? Let's go ahead and see how that works. There you go. Just crossed below zero right there, and my instincts were right, okay? There's not going to be a lot of huff and puff in that trade to the upside. Curious to know if any of you guys caught any of these moves to the downside or upside in today's market. All right. Also keep in mind, guys, all right, whenever you get hits in these green lines right here, a price is likely to bounce off of them, especially right here with the dynamic VWAP. You notice how price hit the top, it hit this green line right there, and now it just kind of bounced up a little bit right there to the upside, okay? So we're going to let this bounce around so you guys can kind of see how this looks, and then we'll see if we see any other trade opportunities that we can take in the process, okay? And these are all cycle trades, guys, that if you wanted to clip with both CYMO and CYMO right here, this is exactly what these tools are designed to do, okay? Typically, when you get into this little range right here between the support line and the resistance line right here, you normally get a lot of noisy trades, okay? Especially around the green line right here. You see this? Okay, you normally get a lot of noisy trades right there, which might be a good time to kind of sit it out and wait to see better setups, okay? Thanks for the follows, guys. Appreciate them very, very much. Very much. Very much. You guys are always a great crowd, and I really appreciate you guys being on here today, okay? So we've got cycle up, momentum up. Let's see if maybe perhaps we can take a trade right here.
Order filled.
To the upside, okay? See if there's anything there. And hopefully there is, and we'll take a nice little trade right there to the upside. Now, let me show you something right here. Let me just pause it for a second, okay? This is important stuff right here, okay? And let me go ahead and highlight a couple of things on the chart for you. We just had cycle rising right there, okay? We also had momentum rising right there from the bottom, okay? Right within the next bar to take that to the upside. Now, check this out, guys, okay? Okay, check this out right here. You're going to have, okay, the purple line crossing above zero right there, okay? But look at this. Look what just happened. This is something really important for you to notice right here, okay? And a lot of you guys may not have noticed this, but check this out, okay? Right here, when the cyan line crossed above the gray box, okay, this is telling you that there is a lot of momentum to the upside right here, okay? And if there's momentum to the upside, we want to see the full rotation of this cyan line. So let me show you how this plays out in this scenario, okay? Because this is one of those nuances with scalp mode that's important to identify so that you don't hop off too early in the process, okay? So check this out. If this was a normal cycle trade right there, you would have hopped off right here the moment that cycle crossed below the zero line, right? But the fact that the wave line is way up above this box is telling you that there is still momentum to the upside. Notice how momentum right here is still elevated, okay? Notice it right here, all right? And notice here the cyan line, how it is just continuing to move to the upside, okay? Watch the cyan line right here in scalp mode, okay? Yeah, I got on a little bit late today because I had a little bit of work here on my desk that I needed to clear out. So I finally got it done. I got some coding work done, and so still made it for today's recap. So check this out, guys, right here. The moment it actually hits the inflection point right there, this trade is actually right there gonna be over right there, okay? There is nothing else left in that trade, okay? Not a lot of meat on the bone in this trade either, okay? To the upside right there. The upside was basically right there, the end of it, and came down, and I'm a little bit down right there, so I will go ahead and get out of that trade. There's nothing else left in that trade to the upside, okay? Alrighty, we just had cycle go up again. Nice little pivot trade telling you it's going up. I will wait for momentum to actually take a long trade right there to the upside again. And we'll see how this bad boy works in this round, okay? And I promise, guys, I will get to your comments shortly as soon as I am done here. And I'm almost done here, guys. Almost done, okay? I'm going to let this bad boy run till about, I don't know, 11:15 or so. And we have another scenario right here, too. Remember, where the cyan line is above the threshold right there, okay? Now, remember, guys, if the cyan line is above the threshold, I do not want to get out right here because I'll be limiting the gain that I might be able to make if this continues to run to the upside, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and just let this run. Besides that, we also have momentum rising right here. Check this out, right there. Bingo, okay? So you got momentum rising right there, which is nice, okay? And you've got the cyan line cruising right there. This is telling you that there is strength to the upside. But as soon as I see the inflection point with this cyan line touching this 0.43 threshold, which is this little gray box, that's it, guys. I am out of the trade. This 2-contract trade right there on a cyclic chart is up a little bit over $2,000, which is not bad, okay? And here we go, right there, guys. It's pretty darn close to the line right there. I wouldn't mind clipping this right there.
Order filled.
To take my profits, and I'd be done with it right there, guys. And let me go ahead and put a marker so you guys could see exactly how this played out right there, okay? I took the trade right there, okay, as soon as the purple line went up and as soon as the cyan line went above the zero line right there, okay? And I stood in the trade until the cyan line actually hit the inflection point right there. I didn't get out right here the moment the cyan line in CYMO crossed the zero line, because the moment that I saw this, I saw that there was a crossing to the upside, and that gave me confidence that price was still going to continue its upward trajectory right there. Now, if you notice, momentum right here in CYMO never came down, okay? Instead, it went up, all right? And ScalpMo helped confirm the move right there, all right, guys? So this is the cyclic component of the trade that followed the pop in the early morning session in today's market, all right, guys? So this is your wake-up call. Let's cut to it, okay? You've been watching these streams for a few days now, and you still haven't signed up. What are you waiting for? This isn't theory, guys. This is real-time decision-making right here. This is what precision trading looks like, supported by precision-engineered tools that actually give you an edge. Now, you've seen the downside sell-off caught in real time yesterday. The upside rip confirmed and executed this morning, okay? You saw the cyclic rotations right here, okay, navigated with clarity. So let me ask you, are you still okay guessing Or are you finally ready to trade like a professional, guys? All right? You can start your 7-day free trial right now. Get access to CYMO, to PureMO, to ScalpMO, to the dynamic VWAP, and our briefing bot with the daily market calls, and 2 free one-on-one sessions to get you dialed in fast, guys. No cost, no risk. Just 7 days of clarity, structure, and smart decision making. Guys, click the link in my bio and take that first step. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there for now, and I'm going to go ahead and answer any Q&A that you guys might have.